Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Bitcoin is playing out a new short-term bullish signal as the price is also now playing out a new short squeeze, while the funding rates are extremely negative right now, while Ethereum is still repeating history in the short term and playing out this new pattern right now that we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and over the last 1 day, this chart has not really changed all that much. So if you're new to the channel and you want to know more about this chart right here, then check out my last video here on the channel, because once again, since yesterday, this chart has not really changed. And if we're taking a look at the 2-day time frame, something similar can be said about this chart as well, because over the last 1 day, not a lot has changed on this chart. At least for now, the price of Bitcoin is still sitting in between this level of support and this level of resistance. First of all, this support is still sitting at just above 53,000, and this resistance is still sitting at around 68,500. And technically speaking, while the price of Bitcoin is in between this support and this resistance, technically we're still within more of a bearish trend. As we can see here, we're clearly trending in the more bearish direction, at least for now, on the 2-day time frame, with lower highs and lower lows in the price chart. But as I always say, even during a bearish trend, we can see short-term bullish price action or some pumps here and there in the price of Bitcoin, even during a bearish trend. So keep that in mind as well. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, right now the price of Bitcoin is on the edge of potentially breaking back out above this area of resistance, which is sitting in between around 60,000 to 61,000. And above that area right there, we do have a little bit more resistance at around 62.8k to 63k, and some more short-term resistance at around 64,500, and a significant area of resistance in between around 67,000 to 68.3k. And so those are still the levels of resistance that I'm currently paying attention to right now on the daily Bitcoin chart. And if we can actually confirm a breakout above any of these resistance levels, then technically speaking, once we see a breakout above resistance, that previous resistance should become new support. And as for other areas of support on the Bitcoin price chart right here, we do have some major support in this price range, which we perfectly bounced from close to a week ago, sitting in between around 56,000 to 57,000. And we also have a lot of support in between around 51 to 53k. And with that being said, if we're zooming into the short term, looking at the 2-hour Bitcoin chart, what we just saw around a day ago is actually another bounce from this line of support here in the 2-hour Bitcoin RSI, which of course I talked about in my last video. I said this is potentially a bullish signal that we're seeing right now in the short term. And the last couple of times we've seen a bit of a bounce here in the RSI, especially from this line of support right here on the 2-hour time frame, we have seen a little bit of a bullish relief over the next couple of days. And so obviously already over the last 1 day, in fact just over the last half a day right here, we have clearly started to see that bullish relief play out just in the short term, which once again is what I was talking about yesterday before we even saw this move actually start playing out. And so now that this short-term bullish move is beginning to play out, what should we be expecting next? And well, first of all, just before I talk about that, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally when it comes to trading crypto, I basically take all of my trades over on Bybit, so I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, which is a massive lucky draw happening right now over on Bybit, but only if you use the link down below this video once again, and you could potentially win up to $100,000 or some free Bitcoin or Ethereum or USDT or some other prizes here just by trading crypto using the link down below this video. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex down below this video, as an alternative crypto exchange. And with that being said, if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, right now, as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is basically just now taking out a lot of liquidity because we still had a major level of liquidity sitting just above $60,000, which obviously I've been talking about for the last few days here on the channel. And so once again, as I've already been saying over the last few days, we should be expecting a move to take out a lot of these levels of liquidity, especially to the upside. That's where the majority of the liquidity is sitting at right now. And as of right now, we have just taken out this liquidity that was sitting just above $60,000, going up towards around $60,500. But with that being said, we still have a level of liquidity to pay attention to close to 62,000, more specifically around 61.9k to 62.1k in that price range right there, very close to 62,000. And so that is the next short-term price target for the price of Bitcoin, and we're likely going to go towards that level, especially if we continue this bullish signal right here, and especially if the funding rates right here are staying in the negative, which right now, a lot of these funding rates for Bitcoin and a lot of altcoins across multiple different exchanges are sitting below neutral, in the negative territory, below 0.01%. And in case you're new to all of this, basically when the funding rates are in the negative or below 0.01%, that means the majority in the market are interested in shorting crypto. There's basically a high demand right now to short crypto and not many people wanting to long crypto. And so that basically means the majority in the market right now, almost everyone is currently bearish on crypto, while not many people are actually bullish on crypto. And usually when that's the case, the minority is actually correct and the majority is usually wrong. And also another reason why that's the case is because of what the funding rates actually mean, because when the funding rates are negative, that means the short positions are having to pay those funding rates as fees to the long positions, usually every 8 hours. And so even if the price of Bitcoin just goes sideways, the short positions are losing money when the funding rates are negative, and the long positions are making money even if the price goes nowhere. And so essentially the short positions require the price to go to the downside. If the funding rates are negative, that is the only possible way the short positions can be making money. But of course, if the price is sideways or bullish, the longs are making money, especially while the funding rates are negative. And so this provides an extra incentive to basically open a long position or close a short position. And when that happens, when a short position closes or a long position opens, that adds buying pressure to the market, pushing the prices higher. And so this short-term bullish relief right here could potentially continue over the next couple of days here as one of the most likely scenarios. Once again, we're likely going to see a little bit more of a bullish relief here in the short term, especially if we continue liquidating those short positions. But of course, nothing moves in a straight line, so don't necessarily expect a straight line to the upside. Of course, we see some little moves like that, for example, along the way. And those slight little pullbacks along the way during the bullish relief can especially happen as the short-term price oscillators like the RSI, for example, enter into overbought territories, which right now we're actually getting very close to overbought territories on the 2-hour RSI. So just keep that in mind as well. But once again, when we're zooming out to the 2-day time frame, at least for now, we're still within this slightly larger bearish trend. So once again, in the imminent short term, over the next couple of days, we're likely going to continue to play out a little bit more of a bullish relief of some sort, something like that, for example, over the next couple of days. But once again, at least for now, this is still currently occurring within this pattern right here, which is a trend in the more bearish direction, as we can clearly see. And with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, and as of right now, the price of ETH is still technically trending in the bearish direction as well, forming lower highs and lower lows, which is what a bearish trend is. But of course, in the short term, during this bearish trend, we are currently seeing a slight bullish relief, a bit of a break from all of the bearish price action, which is of course what I've been talking about basically every day over the last couple of weeks. And this break from all of the bearish price action was especially expected based on this RSI right here on the 3-day time frame, getting very close to oversold territories for the first time in almost a year, since around September last year. And so considering the fact that we've only seen a very slight reset over the last couple of weeks in the RSI, we're likely going to continue to see a bit of a break from all of the bearish price action, whether that means a sideways consolidation or a bit of a bullish relief. Either way, just a break from all of the bearish price action here in the short term during this bearish trend, at least for now. That is the current situation. And as for support and resistance on this chart right here, those levels have not changed over the last 1 day. So we still have support at around 2,500 and more support in between 2150 to 2.2k. And as for resistance, we have a significant level of resistance at around 2.8k and some more resistance at around 3.2k. And if we're zooming into the short term, this is the 4-hour Ethereum chart right here, and this is the 4-hour Ethereum chart as well, but looking at March to April 2020, and as of right now, we're still seeing very similar price action compared to what we saw back here. And as I've already discussed over the last few days, back in around March, April 2020, we saw basically a range high, a horizontal high right here, which was sitting at around close to $150 back then. But while the price was forming basically a bit of a sideways price range, just playing out choppy sideways price action, we were actually seeing ascending lows, higher lows in the price, with this line of support as well coming into play, basically forming an ascending triangle pattern. And right now we're seeing something very similar with higher lows or ascending lows and basically a range high. And so as of right now, this ascending line of support right now for the price of ETH is sitting at around 2.6k approximately, or just below 2.6k. And this line of resistance is basically sitting right at around 2.8k. And so 2,800, 2.8k, that is definitely a critical level to pay attention to for the price of ETH. And especially if we can confirm a breakout back above 2.8k, that would be an extremely bullish signal if we can see that happen. And if we're taking a look at a technical price target for that breakout, if we confirm a breakout once again above 2.8k, that can place a technical price target close to 3.2k, which once again is sitting very close to that next Fibonacci level of resistance. But at least as of right now, while the price is still sitting below 2.8k, just in the short term, we're looking relatively neutral because we're basically in a bit of a sideways price range, basically playing out choppy sideways price action, as I've already been saying over the last few days and has been playing out over the last few days, basically as expected. And with that being said, if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the daily time frame, right now the price of Solana is continuing this slight bounce from this area of support, very close to around 139 to 144 approximately, and below that area of support we also have this significant area of support in between around 120 to 128. And as for resistance, we still have this area in between around 159 to 163, and we have more resistance in between 170 to 175, and a significant level of resistance or area of resistance in between around 183 to 187. And as of right now, the larger trend and momentum on this daily time frame right now is basically a sideways trend, a neutral trend, also known as a sideways price range, basically chopping around in between this area of support and this area of resistance. But of course, during this larger sideways price range, we can see shorter term bullish moves and shorter term bearish moves during the sideways price range. And of course, just here we saw that short term bullish relief, and then over the last week or so, we saw a bit of a short term pullback. But right now, we're likely going to see a little bit more of a relief just in the short term over the next few days as the most likely scenario, now that we are bouncing from this area of support. And once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways in a sideways price range, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.